Yeah, so I was pretty curious going into this what you're going to show up on camera looking like, because I've seen some of these cut off sleeveless ugly sweaters that you've rocked during Christmas time, but you're keeping it casual with the backwards hat and the plain tee.
Yeah, no, those Christmas parties, those are family oriented and ugly sweater Christmas parties. So my mom loves doing something for the whole family to do, and just have some laughs and stuff. So try to do it as good as I can for that.
Yeah, well, you're rocking this really well right here. You can definitely tell you got the baseball bro and the golf guy in you.
Huge golfer, huge golfer.
Big time. We're going to talk about that. We got Nolan Gorman. The dude is an absolute stud in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Yo, you've had quite the career and definitely stoked to have you on the podcast. So welcome to Keep Swinging. Thanks for hopping on, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Dude, let's go. So as I'm doing my research, I'm like, man, this guy's the ultimate baseball dude. You were born Nolan, which was after a Hall of Fame baseball player that your dad was a huge fan of, but literally out of your mom's womb, you were born to be a baseball player.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting story because Nolan wasn't the first option for my dad. He loved The Matrix, the movie, and he actually thought Neo would be pretty cool. And looking back on it, Neo is kind of a cool name, but I'm glad he stuck with Nolan, and it's been good ever since.
Are you a big Matrix guy?
No, not really. I mean, he used to make me watch it when I was a lot younger, but not anymore.
I'm trying to think because I know that there was an article about you and how you're the first player born in the 2000s to be drafted by a major league team. And I'm pretty sure one of the fun facts was The Matrix just came out that year, like hadn't even been released or something just yet. So I guess around the time that you were born, he was, yeah, all in on The Matrix.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
So Nolan Ryan, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't go down the pitcher path with that type of name.
Yeah, I think it was just because I grabbed a bat. That was the first thing I grabbed and started swinging that thing around the house. So, and I always swung at lefty. My hands were always in the left-handed position, and he wasn't going to change it. So that's kind of how it all started.
And was this down in Arizona?
Yeah, born and raised in Arizona my whole life. I go back there in the off season, so that's where I like to live.
Okay, because your dad, he's a New Yorker, isn't he?
He's from Binghamton, New York. Yeah, and then he went down to Arizona when he was about 15 years old. So.
Oh, no way. Does he still have his New York accent?
No, I don't know if they ever got one because they were in the forest and that part of New York, not the city.
There you go, upstate New York.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a blessing that you didn't get one because, dude, if you had one everywhere that you would go, anybody could point that out, man, from a mile away.
Yeah, they can. No, it's weird. It's funny you say upstate. I was talking to him about this the other day. I was looking at the map and I was looking where Binghamton was, and I was looking. It didn't look like it was in the upper part of New York. It's like pretty southern. And I was like, "What? Why do they call it upper state?" And he explained all of that to me, and so finally learned what upper state meant.
Dude, yeah, it's funny because all around New York, some people think that Westchester, which is a little bit lower, closer to New York City, is upstate. But yeah, that whole Binghamton area and like even further up, Rochester. I'm not good with maps or whatever, but I do know that entire area is upstate for sure. Which, if it wasn't for moving down to Arizona when he was 15 years old, who knows if you would have picked up a baseball bat lefty at just 3 years old. That's when you got your entire baseball career started. That's pretty cool. Do you even remember kind of that time period in your life when you first started playing baseball?
Not too much. We've got videos from when I started playing T-ball or coach pitch. It's when my grandpa kind of dove into my career and started filming pretty much all the games I ever played. And so I go back and I'll watch, like, we have videos of like where it all began and, stuff like that. So that's probably my earliest memory. But, when I was a 3-year-old, I don't really remember walking around with a bat in my hand all the time throughout the house.
Well, just a natural. And do you have any fun blooper videos from back then? Just over this past summer, I was outside with our son. We just had him recently. And it's funny. We just had him recently talking like we just bought a car. But I had this one video that went all around the internet. I was doing like a little soft toss to him, and I guess I was aiming for him rather than like right in front of him because there was no catcher. but I hit him a couple times, so that's how his career started. But do you have a lot of those fun types of videos from your grandpa?
Uh, man, he'd have to go back and dig them up. I don't. He's probably got videos from all over, but nothing that I've seen. It's just been me hitting if I'm playing like on a team or something. So I haven't seen any bloopers, but I definitely know there were a lot of bloopers.
You got a great stash of content for Throwback Thursdays in the future.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
So, do you have any videos of your trips to Cooperstown? Because I read that you hit 18 home runs in 3 different trips to Cooperstown. But do you have any videos of those bombs that you hit up there in Cooperstown?
Yeah, they should be on YouTube somewhere. My grandpa was there too, so he filmed all of it, and there should be quite a few videos on YouTube out there of home runs, from pretty much everyone on the team. But you can find some in there of me.
I think I have to do some better digging because I did not come across him, and I did a thorough search. I know everything but your waist size, so I guess I got to do some more homework.
Yeah, no, they're oh man, I don't even know what might be on my page on YouTube. Was super far back.
And when you went up there, who went with you? Was it your entire family? That's upstate New York. It's kind of like a homecoming type thing for your father, at least your family. Was he like showing you all around?
A little bit, yeah. We went up to Binghamton, and because we went early one time, went to New York City, and hung around there for a little bit, and then he showed me Binghamton a little bit. Went up there, went to some of the old houses he used to live at, and the field he used to play at. It's kind of cool. He took me to a field, I think where he first started playing little league at, and we had some baseballs in the trunk of the car, and he got out and started tossing me some baseballs and stuff, and seeing if I could hit them out, which I could, 'cause, the fences were pretty short. But he
For
he was
you.
mad about that. Yeah, he was mad about that because he couldn't get any out when he was younger. So
Man, I bet that was the very beginning where he was like, this dude is cut out to be a baseball player. So, yeah, man, 18 home runs thrown in 3 trips to Cooperstown. That's absolutely insane. Is that kind of when you started to realize that you have some special talent that could be put to a wild use, like becoming a professional baseball player?
yeah, I'd say it's always hard when you're that young to be like, all right, I'm really good and I can possibly live this out to be a reality. But when you're that age, you're thinking that you want to be a big leaguer for your life, for the rest of your life. And so I think I played on a lot of club teams that were really good and high level club teams, and being able to perform against other high level competition and being able to stack up against the best of the best, or even when I was younger, 7, 8 years old, playing an age or two up was a big help for me, and being able to compete and fail at a young age against better competition 2 years older than me, and learning how to deal with failure, and just pushed me harder to be better than those guys that were older than me at the same time.
So then how much of other sports did you take part in? We just had Tyler Glass now on the show. He was into gymnastics. Mike Soroka, the dude was into badminton. I guess that's a Canada thing maybe, but I could be completely wrong. But like how many other sports did you play, or was it always just baseball?
For the most part, it was baseball. I mean, I played a little bit of volleyball in like middle school, but played flag football when I was real young with my club team. We put together a team and just played some like NYS flag football, and but other than that, it was mainly baseball. And volleyball was fun. I would have played it. I would have tried to play it in high school if I could, but it was during the same time as baseball for us. So I never really got into football. Late in high school, I started getting into golf a little bit more. My grandpa, had me golfing at a young age and bought my first clubs when I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, but didn't get into it until really kind of pro ball hit and everyone was golfing, and that was something to do during the off season. So I picked that up and try to teach myself how to be as good as possible in that too.
Dude, this is wild. So you mentioned golf and you hit a golf ball righty, but you
Yeah.
bat lefty.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Dude, and you hit tanks from both sides on the golf course and on the baseball field, man. You got that power.
yeah, I think it was most people say that it's hard to find a set of golf clubs for lefties. And so I think when my grandpa bought them, they were right-handed clubs, and that's just kind of what I got used to from a young age. So I always stayed with it.
Can you hit a golf ball lefty?
No, it's actually brutal.
Dude, no way, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing like translates?
no, not at all.
No shit.
Well, because the swing is a little different. I mean, in golf, you got to close the club face at impact and stuff, and when you're hitting, your hands are palm up, palm down. So if you try to do that, you're leaving the club face wide open. You're gonna slice it or hit it off the hosel or miss it, which happens quite often. But
Huh.
yeah, no, it's weird. I've tried and it's hard to do.
Yeah, wow. All right. So recently I just posted on Instagram a video of myself hitting a golf ball from both the left and the right side. And I started swinging from the left side because my left shoulder kept on popping out. And my wife's a PT. So the last thing I want to do is keep on coming home with the sublux shoulder. But I posted this video and I thought that everybody was just going to talk smack, being like, dude, that's an ugly swing. I can't tell if you're lefty or if you're righty. Hector Santiago and Aaron Hicks, like all these dudes, they've seen my right hand golf swing and they all kid around about it. But I put this video up expecting a lot of smack talk, and a lot of people were actually pretty impressed. They're like, wow, that's really cool. And I'm like, I don't think this video did the whole point of what I was thinking of or was going to come across. But if I can do it, I think maybe one day you can do it.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I'll stick to righty and try to perfect that one.
Yeah. So you talk a lot about some of the teams that you had played on and you were playing a level up and you always just had great competition. There's one guy that always pops up in every single interview that you do, it seems like, and it's going to pop up right now just for the purpose of the conversation. But your buddy Matt, who you played with, and then eventually got drafted in the same year of the MLB draft. But I'm a firm believer in having an accountability friend or partner, whatever it is. And I got a couple of close buddies to me who kind of keep track on what you're doing physical wise, physical fitness. And I think for you, the cool thing that you had with Matt was that even as you guys were kids, like there's always that accountability partner that continued to try to make you get better and better. So, I mean, just having him in your life at that early stage, how instrumental was he to your development? And I guess vice versa, because he's a pitcher and you're a hitter.
Yeah, from a young age, we both pitched and we both played the field and hit and stuff. But he was a huge part. During the summers, we were together every night, spending the night at each other's houses and going to work out and stuff. I'm talking when we got like 12, 13 years old, we would get up at 5 in the morning and we'd ride a bike. We'd make sure both of us got up, and he's not a morning person. I am. And so I would be the person keeping him accountable to get up in the morning and get to the workout. But, once we got there and just pushing each other, at a young age, like I said, we'd ride a bike over a mile and a half or so to get to the gym. And then, on top of that, we would always be outside doing something activity wise. And whether it was throwing a frisbee and chasing it down or throwing a football or playing street hockey, basketball, whatever it was, we were always outdoors and never really got stuck in inside playing video games like a lot of people are doing now. And that's fine, but we were just two people that were active all the time. And I think that helped our athleticism a little bit, because even though we didn't play other sports, and he played basketball a little bit and some volleyball as well, but we weren't into just sitting around. We wanted to be active, and that athleticism, I think, caught up to us, and we were able to take it into baseball.
Oh, for sure. And you guys ever butt heads, like just obviously jokingly, but usually with your best friend, it's all good and stuff like that. But at times, like, have you guys ever had any sort of just kind of like fun back and forth to
I
obviously
mean,
make yourself better? Or like you ever go over to Matt's house at 4:59 a.m. and you're like, dude, where are you? You're not out here again, like kidding around with them, but like fun stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, all the time when we'd play ping pong all the time, and we'd go back and forth about who's better at ping pong. And he played some video. We used to play video games a little bit. You can't be outside all day running around; you get tired. But we'd come inside, play video games, and at one point we got so bored of playing video games, like side by side. We took the controller, and him with his left hand, me with my right hand, and Yeah, we stuck it on the controller, and played. He was moving, I was aiming and shooting. He was, it was kind of funny, and we actually didn't do too bad, but we haven't really had any moments where we butt heads about a certain thing. It was, we're always competitive and just trying to be the best and make each other better.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And eventually you guys go off to high school. And how old were you when you committed to the University of Arizona?
I was it was at the start of my sophomore year, so that was good. It was my first visit that I ever took to a college, and I liked it so much. The facilities, the coaching staff, everyone was, it was just everything I really, wanted. My let's see, my dream school was LSU, but for I didn't want to be too far away from home, but far enough where because my grandpa growing up, he was always at the games, filming and everything. So being close enough where they could still come out and watch games and be there was kind of key for me. And then being far enough away where I didn't feel like I was still at home being protected by, the parents and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. So, sophomore year in high school, do you have your driver's permit at that age or no?
No, not at that point.
Okay. Dude, that's pretty cool, man. The fact that you got that offer and you accepted that early in high school, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And after that, went and played. It was kind of like a relief off my shoulders of, the whole college recruiting thing and having to deal with, coaches wanting you to come visit and then, telling them either, yeah, I'll come visit because, I think the school is cool. And there's not really a wrong way to do it, but, taking more visits to other schools and seeing what other schools have to offer is always good. And a lot of people do that, and it's a cool experience to go out to different cities and states and see how different things are ran and whatnot. But for me, it felt good as soon as I got there and started talking with the coaches and everything.
Dude, I bet. Now, when I was in like later years of high school, might have been early college, I was shooting emails back and forth with Kenny Mayne. The dude is just like one of the best guys to ever step on the set of ESPN. And he told me, he was like, dude, you could get all A's in class, but what matters most is the experience outside of the class. And he used to sell like insurance for MCI, whatever it was, or picking up trash, something along those lines. But basically, his point was like, just get that experience outside the classroom and just do enough to get by or pass. So I was cool with like B's, like whatever. So
Yeah.
as a sophomore, when you already know what college you're going to play baseball, what are you doing during all your classes and stuff? Are you like putting in a ton of stress into that like chemistry test that you may have that next week, or were you kind of able to focus more on sports and have a more laid back approach to your day to day regular like high school type stuff?
Yeah, I mean, school is always important, and that's how you get into college. You got to get good grades, good scores on your SAT, ACT, everything. So there's always that importance of making sure you're learning and being able to pass the class and whatnot. But I think the focus on baseball and everything was much more entertaining to me, at least through high school. So school wasn't hard, but for me it was a little harder just because I wasn't focused enough in class to really be able to sit down and take a math test and be confident in the answers that I'm putting down because I'm focused, my mind's somewhere else in baseball, and I'm not, really worried about what the square root of 9 is or whatever. So
Yeah.
I've
I don't even know the answer to that right now. And
got
probably back then either.
yeah, but I mean, once they started throwing in letters with numbers and math and that stuff got all confusing. But no, I mean, I wasn't a bad student. I did my work and got it done and ended doing well. So
Yeah. Well, so then your baseball talents eventually took you to all these different cool stadiums to play at, whether it was Petco Park or Wrigley Field. And in my opinion, I think one of the coolest ones, and you may feel the same exact way, had to have been when you got sent to Miami for the high school home run derby. And what was that, 2017?
yeah.
Dude, how did that phone call go down? And what was your reaction?
Yeah, it was a little different. I believe it was a USA event. It's put on by USA baseball. So there was supposed to be some qualifying rounds to go into the final seven or whatever we had, and I think it ended up raining in North Carolina or something, and we couldn't do like that qualifying round. So we ended up, I think they ended up just picking seven guys to go, and I was picked. So they called me and said, "Hey, we're going to send you out to Miami during the All-Star game," and that was super cool because that was kind of the first time. There was a lot of fans at Petco and a lot of fans at Wrigley too, but that was the first time I stepped foot on a stadium completely packed out, 50,000 people. Just, when I'm up there and these big league guys are hitting and everything, they're hitting bombs out of the park, and I got a metal bat in my hand, and trying to hit in the second deck or trying to hit out of the stadium. But that was super cool, really cool experience. Family got to come out and watch that too, and everything that they put us through was super, top notch, and meeting some of the big league guys, and it was cool.
Oh man, so I believe it might have been your grandpa who's in the video that a reporter had done, but that's where I learned the term HTDB.
Yep, yep, that's right. Yeah, he's preached that to me for a while. That's been a long time that he's had those letters put together.
Hit the darn ball, which is exactly what you did because you ended up winning that home run derby. Yo, what better stage to do it, man?
Yeah, no, that was super cool. And then, prior to that, I had met Aaron Judge, and he ended up winning that home run derby. And I met him just probably a few months before that. It was in the fall, and it was pretty cool because I was able to go out in the field, and when he was hoisting his trophy and whatnot. So got to see him again, and he remembered me and everything. So it was cool to kind of reconnect with him and just watch him do what he does.
Yeah, I gotta send him a message after this when we take our selfie. I'll be like, "Yo, look who's on the pod. Remember
Yeah,
this
for
guy, this dude that hit absolute missiles in Miami?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Man, that was definitely like a huge highlight of your high school career. So, like in terms of other players and experiences, like, did you take any sort of memorabilia with you from that time? Like, did you come home with the autographs? Were your friends freaking out? What was kind of the end result in terms of what you have from that time?
Not so much autographs, but just that home run derby. Got to keep all the gear that I wore, the jersey and everything. So we got that hanging up, and then USA event, obviously winning gold and bringing home the gold medal and all that, and then getting the ring later on in my senior year for that, and then the Under Armour All American, the PG All American, MVP. I got that trophy, and then the home run derby, the home run derby for Under Armour was really cool. It's like one of those WWE belts or the UFC belts, and it was American flagged out because that was the theme that year. So yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff hanging up around my room. My dad's put in shadow boxes and whatnot, so it's pretty. My room's pretty cool.
Yo, your man cave is insane, or at least your room is. But yo, just wait until you win a potential MVP or World Series trophy or something along those lines, and it's just going to continue to build. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the next goal.
And your dad, he used to collect baseball cards when he was a kid, and now he sees that you got all these awards, which you're such like a humble dude, which I love. But I love how you just kind of like brushed over the Team USA gold medal. Like, dude, you have so many cool things. He's probably so proud of you being like, yo, look at what we created.
Yeah, no, he's definitely proud. He's got yeah, he collected baseball cards, when he was younger, and then when I started getting my first baseball cards my rookie year and everything, he was right on it. Him and my uncle, they've got, I think my dad's got pretty close to every baseball card that has been created up until I'd say probably 1 or 2 years ago. He's got all the colors, all the different card types, the plates that they make them with, and everything. So yeah, he's collecting, and it's going to be cool later on in life to see all that stuff. So
Did he get into those candy digital NFTs that just came out recently that I'm sure you've probably seen?
No, he's not into any of that stuff. I think he's too busy with work and whatnot to learn.
Because between now and the first time that we had talked, they had just released, and it's crazy, man. Like I saw your name as I was scrolling, I was like, "Damn, there's Nolan. That's pretty cool." You know, because there's only a select amount of people. But dude, you might have to
Yeah,
put it on his radar so he could add to the collection.
for sure. Yeah, I mean those NFTs are big. NFTs are big.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you'd be it's crazy. I'm not like all too much into it, but I did dabble in it a little bit and I'm like, holy shit, like people will pay a lot of money for this type of stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's insane.
All right, so you win this home run derby, or well, you just keep on winning home run derbies, I'll say that. And then the draft comes around. Now you get selected in the first round by the St. Louis Cardinals. How are you celebrating that night?
Man, I had a lot of people at my house that day, pretty much from start to finish. I tried to distract myself as much as possible when I woke up. So I think I went out with some friends or something, went shopping, or I don't know what I can't remember, but we did something to try to distract me. And so I wasn't thinking about it the whole day. But then it started, and man, when you're sitting in your living room and these picks are going by, and you're like, when am I going to get selected? And you're not hearing anything, and it seems like it takes a long time. Time just seems like it stopped, and it seemed like forever until they called my name. But yeah, they called it, and I had known just before the pick got called on MLB Network, and everyone erupted in the house, and it was cool. And then later on, we connected with Libby and or Matt and all his friends and family, and just kind of got together and hung out. And I believe my brother and my mom or something, they all went to I think it was Lids or something in the mall, and started buying out all the St. Louis Cardinals hats and bringing them back that night. So it was cool, and a lot of emotions, and just I've got a good support system, so it was fun to have everyone around.
Yeah, for sure. And you're so right about just kind of getting anxious as each pick goes by and you don't want to be sitting around waiting too long. I remember the first draft that I had gone to, I was an intern at MLB.com, and that was the year that Trout got drafted. So Mike Trout and his family, they show up to Secaucus at MLB Network where they were holding the draft. And he got there a little bit late because it was raining a lot. And then it got to a point where it was getting later in the first round. And a lot of people thought that maybe he wasn't going to be get picked in that first round where it was being broadcast and all this other stuff. So many people were nervous. Obviously, you got picked in the first round, but dude, those nerves, man, because there's so many. I mean, I guess like any other sport, but there's so many names that could
Yeah,
be called, and you
yeah,
don't want to sit around just waiting.
yeah. You never know what's going to happen in the draft either. It's it's a little weird of a system, and so you never know what's going to happen. And to be at MLB Network, and you're sitting there waiting for your name to be called, and for him waiting 27 guys between commercial breaks and everything, like it's a long time. And I'm sure he was feeling it too at the same time. So uh he ended up getting selected, and I think he's doing all right now.
Yeah, no, big time. He's had quite the career, but no, yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully, more players will show up to the draft, but I think that for the reason being of what we just talked about, it could be intimidating to go there. But you get into pro ball, you're just ready to start your career again. You're born to do this, and I think it was 2019, right, when you're in spring training and the St. Louis Cardinals decide to call you up to the big league squad, and your parents, they had a trip down to Miami a couple of days later, and you could tell the story better than I could, but kind of like you said with the draft, you never know when your name's going to be called. So many different things could happen. This was the first experience for your family where they never know what's going to happen when it comes to playing and seeing their kid play.
Are you talking about the first game against the Nationals that I got called up to?
Yes, yeah, and then you ended up playing a few days later, and you hit a bomb in that game. So
Yep.
they made the right move no matter what in the end. But yeah, that one.
Yeah. So, I was playing at that complex in West Palm to begin with on the backfield against, I believe it was the Astros at the time. We were playing the Astros, and, I played, I think, 7 innings. And then after that seventh inning, the coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're supposed to be going to play in the big league game, or go sit on the bench, watch whatever, and maybe come in the game later." And then all of a sudden he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry that you just played 7 innings, but you got to get going." And I was like, all right, like I'll grab my stuff and go. And it wasn't until I got to the locker room and someone came up to me and they're like, hey, did you see this? And I was like, I looked at his phone and I was looking at the lineup and everything. And then I just started scrolling through Twitter myself and I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't see my name obviously at first, and then see the lineups and my name's in it and I'm facing Scherzer. You know, that's who I got to face in my first start in spring training. Um, and that was an awesome moment. And then I called my dad and texted him whatever and just said, hey, I'm starting today. I can get you guys tickets. They're already out there watching me, so it was nice to, they didn't have to like drop everything in Arizona and try to fly out to watch this game within a few hours. But yeah, that was pretty cool, and being able to go up against Scherzer, and didn't have much success there. He's pretty nasty, but then obviously hit the home run. That was really cool. Ended up getting that ball. My grandpa got that ball. He used to collect all my high school.
What a stud!
Yeah,
he deserves a statue or something.
no, for sure. He's got all my home run balls. Put them in like shadow boxes and stuff for when I got drafted, and he ended up running out to right field and saw the guy who just got that ball. And it was a group of guys that were there for like a bachelor party or something. And he went up to him. He's like, hey, like, I'll give you money for that ball. I'll give you, if you want a signed ball, I'll try to figure that out. Like, they ended up exchanging numbers, and my dad ended up getting the ball. And so, yeah, we've got that ball for my first spring training home run back in 19.
The bachelor party. Go figure. Out of everybody that could have caught this ball is a bunch of dudes who catch it. And
Yeah.
they signed the ball. So this ball's signed by 6 dudes.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think they might have wrote something on it. I think they wrote something on the ball, and then we ended up getting it and keeping it. So I think we ended up giving them another ball later on, but that was interesting for sure.
Dude, that's amazing. Can you imagine just being out there in the outfield with like 5-year boys, just throwing back whatever? Next thing you know, you catch this really cool monumental home run, and you got grandpa coming for it. And then you have to give it to them, and it's got your autograph on it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool story. It's funny, and it is what it is. But I don't think they thought that someone was going to come for that ball, anyways.
Yeah. I wonder if they remembered if and what happened. If they have any recollection whose home run ball that they caught now,
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
bachelor party, dude. Anything could happen.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to him or anything, so.
I think it was later that year. You ended up hitting 3 home runs in the same game. And I'm watching these highlights, and I see the first home run, see the second, then I see the third, and I look at the score bug, which I rarely do. But I'm like, man, like, what inning is it? It was only the 4th inning when you hit your 3rd home run. What happened? You didn't go for 4 or 5?
So, I mean, obviously the lineup had to be hitting pretty good too. So, to have my 3rd home run by the 4th inning, that's turning over the lineup quick. But I tried. Don't get me wrong. I tried before. I tried to die. At some point you got to stop hitting them, I guess. But that was super cool, and I ended up, I think, with like 7 that week. So that was that 3 home run game was super cool, and I'm pretty sure in the middle of it, we ended up getting into like a rain delay and had to go in the clubhouse and sit around for a little bit and then come back out and finish the game. But yeah, that was a fun moment for sure. That was, you come back in the dugout, and after your second one, people are pumped, but after your third one, people are like, all right, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, let's figure it out. So that was super cool.
Way to slow down the rest of the week and only end up with 7 total, man. Damn.
I know. That was late in the week, and I had hit like 4 more earlier in the week or something.
2019 and 2021, you make the futures game roster. So these like accolades are just slowly building up like crazy. One of them, you hit a double. Was there anything different between each of them? Or at this point, are you kind of used to having your name called and doing all these cool events and cool things and stuff? Because, dude, it's a crazy impressive resume. I don't really talk about stats all that much, but I feel like I got to bring it up now because, dude, you're a stud, and you have a lot to be proud of right now.
Yeah, I think the main difference, there were a lot of differences between the two. I'd say, obviously between Cleveland and Denver, they're not similar in any way possible. So, just getting to experience those different cities, and Cleveland being kind of like that rock and roll, or that kind of music industry in Cleveland, and then Denver, you know, known for elevation and the mountains and everything. So it's kind of cool to experience two different, cities that are very different. In Cleveland, it was a little different. I was the younger guy of the group, so I wasn't starting or anything, and got one at bat, played the field for a couple innings. And then Denver was cool, got to start, being the starting lineup, I think hitting second, which was, just awesome being able to have two at bats and, kind of be the older guy of that group, and kind of not necessarily walk people through who are younger. That's their first time there, but in a sense, you're that guy that has had two futures games now, and you're able to just see the nerves going through everyone and try to calm them down or help them out. And you're in front of a ton of fans, and offensively our team killed it that game. We had, I don't know what it was, about 6 home runs total in that game or something. So that was fun to be a part of, and win it too. So but it was cool. Had the family out there both times, and got to experience that with them again. And so yeah, those experiences are awesome.
I love the part where you said that you saw some other people who it was their first time possibly, and you were just kind of calming them down, just kind of taking that leadership role, which that's what your high school coach described you as. And then in this situation, you're wearing a St. Louis Cardinals hat, whereas the first ever type of MLB All-Star Game experience that you had, which was the 2017 Home Run Derby down in Miami, you had the New York Mets hat on because you're a big
Yeah.
David Wright guy. He was one of the best leaders ever, I think, to step on a baseball field. But that had been so cool for you to go from wearing a Mets hat after David Wright to now kind of doing your own thing, and you're on your own path in your own way.
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, just kind of looking back at that high school home run derby, and it's part of the same all-star game, all-star week thing that the futures game is. So like being able to look back on how cool I thought that moment was in high school, and then being able to do it in pro ball and be on the different side of it, as a professional athlete, and getting to go compete for the Cardinals, and show kind of how the Cardinals do things, and how they expect their players to act, and different stuff like that is super cool. And obviously you brought up David Wright, and from a young age watching the Mets and everything. Yeah, like you said, he's one of the greatest leaders that on and off the field that has stepped foot on it. So trying to emulate just how he was, and I think he's got the nickname Captain America, and that's pretty cool. That's something people remember you by. So being able to just be a good person, and try to teach and learn at the same time, and from your past experiences is always fun.
All right, so you're talking David Wright. Before you're talking a little bit about Aaron Judge and seeing him down in Miami. Now that you've gone to these two futures games, like how much time do you have to kind of have some fun off the field? I know it's kind of a quick turnaround and you got to get back with your team, but like, dude, so 2019, which I'm surprised we didn't bump into each other, but some of those parties, man, like the All-Star Gala, dude, those weekends you probably sleep maybe 4 hours, but you are just riding on straight adrenaline. So like how much of a good time off the field do you get to have, or have you been able to enjoy while being at these things?
I mean, not a lot. It was kind of, you come in the first day, and you've got probably half of your day, if not less, to get all your stuff. You have all the Wilson and Louisville, and every Evo Shield, everyone's down there. You get all your gear that they're giving you. MLB is giving you gear and whatnot, and then the rest of the time is pretty much just spent with your family that comes out, or you see your agent, you see other guys, and you hang out a little bit, go to dinner. Next day, your schedule's packed. You're at the field by like 7:30 in the morning, and you're doing media. You're eating breakfast, getting ready. And this year the game was a lot earlier because they did it before the or 2021 they did it before the celebrity softball game. So it was earlier, and we were kind of on a tighter schedule because we didn't have a bunch of leisure time of that game going on, the celebrity softball game going on. So it was kind of just get to the field, get ready for media, have some meetings, sign some stuff, and then go out for BP infield, and then you're getting ready for the game. So, and then after the game, you got some time. You could watch the celebrity softball game if you wanted, but I ended up just going back to the hotel, hanging out with the family, and going to dinner. Next day, you're flying back out to go meet up with your team wherever they are.
Dude, yeah, so fast.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for both of them. But I mean, that's kind of your responsibility. Your team's still playing and during the season, so you got to get back to them and try to help them win.
Yeah. When Chris Archer first got up with the Rays, because we were going back and forth, and he put it so well one time. I just remember because he was doing really well and still is. He's still pitching in the big leagues. I love him. But he told me, he was like, dude, when we go to these different cities, it's not like you're going to New York City to play the Yankees and you're gonna go to every single club and every single bar. Like, it is a business trip. As cool as it is that baseball players or athletes get paid all this money, it's not like every single person has every single opportunity to go out there and go rage at like wherever, you know what I mean? So like you do have a lot of responsibility. So I give you credit because it could be easy to kind of go down that slope of like, yo, I want to go out and just crush it till 3,
Yeah,
4 o'clock in the morning, which you will do for sure and probably have done. But dude, I just give you so much credit for keeping such a level head with all the success that you've had in all these different positions.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, guys will still go out and whatnot, but I try to just stay in and get ready for the game the next day. There's, I mean, a bunch of we can get into it if you want, but there's a bunch of scientifical research out there about sleep and alcohol and all that stuff that just I don't know. There's something in me that would rather just do what I have to do each day and have a routine and go out and try to be the best I can the next day as possible. So yeah, I'm not huge into going out, but there's for sure a time and a place for it. And obviously in the big leagues, you're traveling to a bunch of cool cities and you want to go explore and see stuff. And during the day, you have some time in the mornings and whatnot. So definitely, guys go out and get to kind of have their own time to see what the city's like and whatnot. But other than that, you're right. It is a business, and you're there for one reason, that's to win. And if you're not helping the team win, there's plenty of other guys that will, and they're not afraid to do something about it. So
And I think you also hit the nail on the head too, where it's like there's a time and a place. If you see the schedule, and if you're going to Cleveland and you don't really want to explore anything in Cleveland or go out in Cleveland, all right, don't do anything. But if you go to a city like New York City, which I know you love, it's like, all
yeah,
right, that's when I'm gonna go out. That's when I'm gonna have my fun. But obviously do it there, but not the next series or whatever.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm watching all these videos on YouTube, not the home run one, but there was a press conference and you said this one line that I absolutely loved. I'm like, yo, we got to get this on a shirt. But somebody was asking about your versatility because obviously making the move from third base to second base, and you've played outfield before in the past. Somebody was like asking you about your comfort level or if you have gloves or whatever it is. He said, I got gloves for everything. I was like, dude, let's go. I got fired up, man. I was like, yo, all right, let's do this, baby. I got
Yeah.
gloves for everything. Yes, sir.
I remember that. Yeah, that was spring training last year, and someone was asking a question, because I had to move from third with Arenado coming in. But yeah, I think right before that was when Wilson came in, and I was picking up all my gloves, and I was talking to the guys because having to deal with Wilson, you get custom glove and then some stock gloves, whatever. And I was talking to him, I was like, hey, I might need an outfield glove. Can I take one? He's like, yeah, sure, take it. And then I was like, I might need an infield or like a first base glove. Can I take one of those? He's like, yeah, take it. So that was right before I think someone asked me that. And So I literally did have every glove for every position and everything that I needed. So that was, yeah, that's funny.
That's awesome. I love that you're just like, hey, you might as well, because you always want to be prepared, man, especially when opportunity knocks.
No, for sure. I've been talking about it this whole week with Jose Oquendo here in Jupiter, and it's just having that versatility. And if they need someone at first base, if they need someone in the outfield, it's you don't want to be having them second guess if they can trust you at a certain position. So just being able to learn and know the responsibilities. You don't have to go practice it every day, but just learning the responsibilities of what every position needs to do, just in case you're that guy that's trying to establish yourself in the big leagues, and they need two at bats from someone. They know that they got two righties in the pen coming out. So yeah, being able to have that versatility is huge.
Dude, and you got some great resources. You got Jose, like you said, one of your high school coaches who's now a big league coach and actually had a great career in the big leagues was Damian Easley. He was an infielder. So you have
Yep.
these guys. And then this is actually kind of a perfect segue into the social media side of things, but you had put out an Instagram story asking if anybody had any sort of contacts in order to get you in touch with Dustin Pedroia. So how did that develop? Did you end up actually getting in touch with him? And I'd imagine you did.
Yeah, no, that was kind of something I just threw out there. I didn't know it was going to blow up as much as it did. But yeah, I ended up there's quite a few people that had his number, and got me in touch with him. But he had just had, I think, double knee surgery or something. So he couldn't get out on the field or anything, but he ended up, we talked a little bit over text, and that was cool to just, the power of social media, what it can do. And, even if you're, somewhat joking a little bit, but having a guy that played second base at such an elite level like him, and the gamer he is, be able to reach out and talk to him about it was pretty cool.
Dude, people love Dustin Pedroia, man. And if anybody has seen him play, they know that he has a ton of heart, hustles a bunch. So if there's anybody to learn from, obviously you said you got some great resources, but dude, he seems like the real deal in terms of that.
Yeah, no, I believe there was someone was either telling me a story, or it was some sort of video about him, and it just kind of went over his attitude about who he was. And even though being the smaller guy, he felt like he was the biggest guy out there. So whatever that was, either a story or something that I watched, it was really cool to kind of see like his failure, and then people just not thinking he can make it, and then him proving people wrong every single day that he stepped foot on the field was, it's pretty cool.
David Wright-esque.
Yep.
The social media side, you mentioned kind of seeing the power of social media. Dude, you've gone viral before. You got that retweet from Twitter Sports. I think both of the videos are probably totaling around like 1 million views right now as of last night when we're recording this. But yo, that was pretty cool, man. You and your buddy Matt doing that video.
Yeah, that was, man, I don't we used to watch all those, Dude Perfect and all those like trick shot videos and everything. And there was one day we just kind of got bored, and he had these little squishy yellow balls, and that we had seen something before of someone throwing a ball real hard and trying to catch it. And it's hard, but I mean, the one that really took off of me spinning around and catching the ball is that was only the second try. The first try tipped off my finger, and then the second try I was able to catch it. So yeah, those were something cool. And Twitter Sports obviously retweeting it, and with all the views and stuff, that's kind of at an early stage, and we were young. So we just said, hey, let's put it on social media. Let's see if we could, see what it does. And I think the next morning we woke up, we're looking at our phone with all these notifications on it, and we're like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't get any better than that. The actual app and the department of what you do for a living
Hmm.
acknowledged it, dude. Like that's got to be damn. Check that one. That's actually something that would be on the. You wouldn't even think about putting on the checklist because it just seems unattainable.
Yeah, no, that was cool for sure.
You also, like you mentioned, Dude Perfect, big into them. I saw the trick shot video that you had over a pool, and the caption was, "You're good at everything." But dude, that was a nice shot that you had, man.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know how many times that took to make, because I'm not a basketball player whatsoever. And my main thing in basketball that I can do is shoot from a far distance and be somewhat accurate. So I figured, just let's try to throw it over this roof and see if we can make it. But yeah, dude, perfect. And Brody Smith's another guy who does those
Oh
trick
yeah,
shots.
Brody. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was able to connect with him a couple years back and played some golf and whatnot when he was starting to get big into golf. And dude, perfect kind of set those trick shots up for me. And we'd always try to do them with frisbees and anything that we could try to find to make something in some sort of basket or whatever. So me and Matt were both doing that from a young age, trying. But that was really the first one that we caught on camera. Was me spinning around and catching the ball, and it ended up being pretty cool.
There's a new crib. Is there a basketball court near there, a tennis court, or anything that you could hop onto and start creating some fun content like that? Seeing if
Yeah,
you could dust off the viral video knack that you got.
we got we got a racquetball court. We got tennis court, probably a basketball court around here somewhere. But yeah, maybe we can see one of these days what I can come up with next.
Wow, yeah, or do a couple recreations. I'm sure you probably don't want to do the spin around, catch a squishy ball, unless it's a squishy ball. Something that wouldn't
Yeah,
hurt your hand. I'm sure you probably got those
yeah,
text messages
no,
from somebody. Dude, isn't it crazy? Once you get to a certain level, it's like a whole different. Oh man, but
yeah,
and overall though, dude, like you put out some great stuff on social media. I love it. I know I talked about at the top of the show about how I was kind of hoping jokingly that you'd be rocking some sort of sleeveless ugly sweater because of the Christmas parties that you have with your family. But yeah, no, you put out some great content.
yeah, no. I tried. It's hard for me, and I try to get on there as much as possible and post, and it's good for the followers and everything that are, they're fans and they're trying to see what you're doing in the off season, and how you're, especially in St. Louis, those fans are just baseball fanatics, so they want to make sure that you're getting your work in and you're getting ready to try to win for the club. And so I try to get on there. I don't do it as much as I should, but definitely try to get on there and just kind of give a little update every once in a while of staying ready, or a lot more baseball stuff than life, and trying to put out more off the field stuff would be super fun. And because there's some things that I do, whether it's golfing or hunting or whatever it is, but hunting might be a little controversial, but there's some stuff that I do that for sure people would I think enjoy watching, and kind of bring in a new following of not only baseball fans but just everyone.
Oh, big time, man. I mean, even like something you love, like golf. I was kind
Yeah,
of bummed I had to scroll down kind of far to find that swing. You kind of hit it, but we got to see that swing a little bit more, man. It's nice.
no, I know. We'll see. I've got, the TrackMan, the little, not the TrackMan, but it's a Rapsodo, device for the golf tracking. So I got to get back on that, get to the range and set it up, and, get the distances dialed in, and, post some of those videos with the trackers, see if we can't try to break some records, or, challenge, even putting out a challenge or something, try to, for all baseball players or whoever wants to do it, of like, send a ball in a can or something and trying to hit it as far as you can. There's so much stuff out there content wise that you can come up with, and I'm not the greatest at come up with ideas, but there's a lot of stuff that.
Yeah, totally. Like you said, a ton of stuff. And I love the one post too where you're holding up a fish. I know you said that you're into that kind of stuff too, but somebody had in the comment section was saying that every type of fish or whatever looks small in your hands because you're just like obviously ripped. But like, dude, like again, like the anything that is relatable or that can get fans kind of like joke around about or just kind of enjoy that's off the field is so beneficial for you and your brand.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of trying to get to that, and not only just baseball stuff, because it's good to have that baseball community behind you and everything, but it's also good to have that off the field and away from baseball type of stuff, and be able to share that and have people that are going to support off the field things as well.
Like you said, there's certain things that you want to post that it can not just be baseball, but stuff that can potentially be a challenge, or stuff that people could try out. I know you love cooking. I know that you've cooked for your buddy Matt before a bunch of times, and for your family too. You're the
Yeah.
guy in the kitchen in your family. So if you were to put out a type of video, which who knows, maybe you will after this, is some sort of challenge, or what would be the dinner dish that you're putting out? And it can't be that like BS macaroni and cheese, or whatever it is that I know that you like. It's got to be
Yeah.
something that takes some time.
Yeah, I think my go-to is either like a fish or like a steak, a nice steak. Once I learned how to cook a steak good and not have to use a grill because the grill can mess it up. I loved cooking steak. Just throw it on the cast iron skillet and let it sear on both sides. Throw it in the oven, and then get some veggies with it. Maybe some mashed potatoes, some broccoli, and just for fish, I always throw avocado in there. And so yeah, maybe we'll see what comes out.
Big avocado guy. That's that dish right there. That's a secret to all the home run power. And I do want to point out, before we wrap up this regular segment and head on to the bonus content, that you do a lot for the community as well, that you've shared on social media. So not only have you done so well off the field and on the field in the baseball world, but you're doing so much great for the community too. So how much pride do you take in doing stuff like that?
Yeah, obviously being, from Phoenix, it's a bigger city, so there's, a lot of people there, and it's not a small town by any means. So whatever I can do, I've taken turkeys on Thanksgiving to help that, the St. Mary's Food Bank, and give out turkeys to some people in need. And then also we had, in my parents' neighborhood, there was an officer who had there was some sort of shooting, ended up killing a police officer, and the guy who shot him ended up passing away too. But that station, the police station, is right next to my parents' house, and at the time I was living there. And just figured trying to do something nice. Not, it wasn't crazy, but just giving them some gift cards to go get coffee one morning was cool. And then it was pretty cool later. I think it might have been about a year later after I did that. One of the police officers from that police station was he's family members with one of my friends that I know, and at the time I didn't know it. And I saw him one day, and he came up to me and just thanked me for the gift card. And it's kind of like, what gift card? Because this was a little like a year past it. And he's like, the coffee gift card. I work at the police station that's right there where it happened. So that's pretty cool. It kind of came around, and ended up meeting one of the guys. I wish I could have met them. Yeah, but with COVID and everything, I'm pretty sure that was the COVID year, and they weren't really taking anybody in to be able to take a picture with everyone and meet them. But yeah, so that was really cool. A year later, someone coming up to me and thanking me. So yeah, that was cool.
And speaks volumes to your character. And man, so you're talking about this, when we're talking about the baseball career and the social media post, dude. I want people to be able to see these other experiences that you have and have an impact on people. So social media wise, where do you want everybody to go, and where can they follow you?
Twitter is just my name, Nolan Gorman. And then Instagram's Nolan Gorman _9. And then, yeah, those are really the only two I use. I'm not on TikTok too much. So just those two, Twitter and Instagram, is good.
All right, baby. You heard the man, Nolan Gorman, dude. Thank you so much for hopping on Keep Swinging. You got a bright career ahead of you. And yeah, man, I'm stoked already for part 2.
Yeah, thank you.